So I'm going to remind you that you got back your tests on Friday. Some of you needed to do test corrections. So we went through the test corrections. So remember, you had to do the worksheet first. Hand me the worksheet as almost like your ticket to get the retake test. And then once you retake the test, I guarantee you 10 points higher than what you've had, or whatever grade you actually earned on the test by doing the extra work to get those corrections done. So no matter what, your grade will be higher, at least 10 points, maybe even higher, depending on how good you did. You can do that retake anytime you're available. I don't have to have a free period. As long as you have one, I can either put you in the hall or you can go to your study hall and do the test. It doesn't matter. They are due by a week from today, which is the 18th, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, it is the 8th. Yeah, I just kind of guessed on the board though, so I wasn't quite sure, but it is. I double checked. Any questions about the test corrections? No? Just give me a warning before you just show up to get the test in case I didn't have them printed and ready for you. So just say, hey, Mrs. Ritz, I'm coming down 5th period. I'll say, okay, I'll have it ready for you. Well, actually, I guess you guys wouldn't be coming down 5th period because this is 5th period. So any other time besides 5th period for you guys. Okay? Friday, we did the notes on the top half and we saved these rules for drawing ISO lines here at the bottom. That's where we're going to start today. So before we get started with how we draw ISO lines, can you guys remind me, or does anybody, I already know the answer. Can you remind yourselves what an ISO line is? Yeah, well, good news. If you have no clue, it's right there on the page in front of you. Right, so the ISO means same or equal, and line means line. So it's a line that connects areas of equal value. It can be whatever value you're measuring. So it could be temperature, could be pressure, could be elevation above sea level. Or if you remember from the examples I gave, it could be how many aches and pains the people have around you. So it's whatever you're measuring, and ISO line is going to connect all the areas that are the same. I think I described it as, do you guys remember connect the dots when you were little kids? Did I talk about this? I did not. I didn't think I did with you guys. So connect the dots when you were a little kid. So they were on almost every kid's menu anywhere you went for dinner or something. So you connected. You guys remember the gist of how you did connect the dots? What'd you start at?
1.
And then you went to 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 until you get to 20 or whatever. And what did you have in the end?
An elephant.
An elephant. Okay, so I always go with a cat, but we'll go with your elephant this time. So after you do the connect the dots on the kids menu, you get a picture of an elephant. Well, what we're doing today and for a little bit of rest of this week is I call it connect the dots for slightly older kids. So we're not going to be making pictures of elephants, and we're not going to be going 1, 2, 3, 4 in order. We're going to 10th grade this connect the dots up, and we're going to be making a map. And the map is going to, if we're doing equal elevation, it's going to show all the elevations of the area, or it might show all the temperatures of the area. Whatever we're connecting, it'll show it on the map. So to draw these lines, there are a few rules or kind of sets of directions, I guess we should say. And we're going to go ahead, and there are 5 of them. And I'll do this with, huh? Oh yeah, we're not there yet. So in fact, I don't think this is an awesome picture. So let's start with just the rules first. The first rule is not really a rule, but more like a reminder that ISO lines connect points of equal value. Can you guys see this good enough? Or would you rather it on a PowerPoint? You good with me writing? Okay. Let me know if I'm going too fast. So this is where one way it's different than connect the dots from when you were a little kid. So we're not going 1, 2, 3, 4. We're connecting now a whole bunch of ones. and a whole bunch of 2s, or whatever they actually tell you to connect is what we're connecting. So kind of like when you connect the dots, the next rule, when you were doing the elephant, or when you're doing the connect the dots and you were making an elephant, did your lines go straight up, straight down, and over to the next one? Or did you curve them a little? Yeah, because what would happen to your elephant if you just went boop, 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 like with nice,
It wouldn't be an elephant.
yeah, it would be a silly looking elephant at least. So just like regular connect the dots, ISO lines are gentle. Sorry, I forget sometimes to leave a space. So it says are gentle curving lines. No sharp corners. Mrs. Ritz. Okay. Sounds good, thank you. Yep, bye. No sharp corners. Just like with the elephant, it'll turn out slightly, you'll still probably be able to tell what it was. So it's not like a complete tragedy, but it's not going to be as good as it could be if you use straight versus the curvy lines. This one sounds weird to me, and it makes more sense once we start doing them. The next one is they are always closed curves. ISO lines are always closed curves. I'm going to add a little bit since there's some room. Even if the map only shows part of it. So ISO lines are always closed curve, even if the map only shows part of it. And that one again makes more sense once we start doing them. All right, the next one, number 4, this one's probably one of the most important part. ISO lines never cross. I'm going to do never in large uppercase letters. They never cross because this would mean that that one point had 2 values. So if we had a 30 line, it can't cross the 40 line because where they crossed would be both 30 and 40. We can't be both 30 degrees and 40 degrees at the very same moment. So if they ever touch or cross, you automatically know you did something wrong. And the last one is ISO lines are usually parallel, or at least have a parallel-ish, I guess. You guys know what I mean by parallel-ish? Or is that just a word I made up and nobody else knows what the heck I'm talking about?
Yep, you made it up.
I did make it up, I think, but do you know what I mean?
No.
Okay,
No.
so it means they're parallel, kind of. Like they're not perfectly parallel, they'll probably still touch, like if they went exactly the way they are, they might touch, but they're kind of, they have the same general idea.
So it doesn't even.
It means they're parallel, kind of. So here's this line right here. Do you want a seat that's closer now that we have more room?
Yeah.
You want that seat?
Yeah.
Take it. Wait, who normally sits there?
No one.
Sit, it's yours. So like this line right here, I could draw another line very similar to it. In fact, I'm going to do that for the 27th. And that blue line is not perfectly parallel with the 25, but it's kind of got the same idea where this one kind of bumps out, that one bumps out, where this one heads back in this way, so does this one. So it actually really helps to have one line drawn because then you kind of have an idea of where the other line's going. You're so lesser. I think once we try it and have the rules next to us when we're trying it.
Connected or 20, 27.
Okay, so yeah, let's look at this one. And this one's kind of, Which one crosses? Yeah, I think that's because I might have screwed up. So let's ignore that 28 one. Okay, but let's not do that one. I want to kind of go to a bigger one.
What's gradient?
Yeah, so gradient. Have you ever heard the term gradient?
Oh,
You know what? I actually don't want to do this right now. I don't want to do gradient right now. I want to just draw these maps. So what I want to do is we're even going to skip page 25. I'm going to just get right into it. Let's get right into it with this one on page 26. Yeah, so Sarah, what's your first thought? Why did you say that? It's super overwhelming, right? That I agree. And that's kind of why I want to start here. These are super overwhelming if you just look at them. But kind of like when Carter was saying I was so confused, I want to try them with the rules next to us so that we can kind of like work through the rules and practice these all together. So we're going to do connect the dots for slightly older kids, which Carter, what did you say it is?
Connect the numbers.
We're just connecting up the numbers. But what numbers do we connect? Because if we just connect all of them, it's still going to be super overwhelming. There's still going to be so many lines. So we don't connect every single number, meaning we don't do all the ones, all the twos, all the threes, fours, fives, six. We might choose to go up by tens and do just 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Or go up by twos, depending on what the map tells us to do. And on Friday, we took notes that said, at the bottom here, it says contour interval is the difference in elevation between two contour lines. It's what the lines count by. So it really is telling you what lines you're going to draw. So down here, it tells us the contour interval is 10. In fact, since you have a highlighter, why don't you go ahead and highlight that? Felicia, I saw yours didn't have a cap on it. Is it dead? Yeah. Okay. I'm putting you in charge of throwing that one out, but here's another one. You ready? No, that was me, not you. Sorry, I totally aimed it.
On you, Felicia.
No, I threw it at Sarah's feet, not at Felicia's hands. No, that was definitely me. So our contour interval is 10. From the notes that we just took, this is what the lines go up by. Meaning what would be the first number? Don't even look at the map, but if we're going
10.
up by tens, the first line
0.
probably would be 0 then.
10,
10.
20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70.
Okay, you get the idea. Those are going to be the only lines we draw. We're not drawing any ones, any twos. We're not drawing any 52s because 52 is not one of these choices. We're just doing the ones that go up by 10. So I would like you guys to work with me, even if you think you understand what you're doing. I highly recommend you don't try yet.
So we're doing like 40, 50.
Oh, wait, why did you not start with 0, 1, 2, 3? Okay, there are no, so I'll have you, everybody take a look. Carter already got ahead of us. Are there any zeros?
No.
Are there any 10s,
No.
20s, 30s, 40s?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Why not?
It's like 42.
Okay, so when I say 40s, oh, I skipped writing the number 40. I'm not sure.
Wow, Miss Rich.
I know, right? So when I say 40s, I mean 4040. Not this 48, not the 45. I want one that's a 4040. And Carter already found out that there are none of them. So the first thing we're going to start with is 50s. I'm going to highly recommend if you're working with a pen to set the pen down. And if you need a pencil, I have a whole pile of pencils up here. I am not throwing pencils because you saw me throw a highlighter and that doesn't even have a sharp pointy end.
My bad, Miss Rich.
So here's what I want to do with the highlighter. Go on scavenger hunt. Find the 50s, the 50s, and highlight them. Hint, there are 9 of them. Thank you.
She's got Allison's been absent, so
Oh,
I just put
that's
her absent. Yeah.
It's-
Oh, okay.
Thank
And
you.
then
though.
there's another page on.
Okay, got it, thanks. 1, 2, 3,
How many are
4, 5, 6, 7, there are 9, I believe. I've got 8. Yeah, there's definitely 9, I just can't find the last one.
I have 1, 2.
Maybe there's, no, I know there was 9.
I have 8.
There is 9, where's the one I'm missing? There should be 4, there you go.
Well,
For me, I don't know which ones, so I got 3 here, 4 here, 1 there, and 1 there. So once we get used to doing these, if you missed one, it's not a huge deal. You'll find it. So now I want you to put down your highlighter and put your cap on it, unlike somebody did last period, because that was just mean. Grab a pencil. Don't connect them with the highlighter because you're gonna screw up. Even if you know what you're doing, you're still gonna screw up at least once. So what we're gonna do, but hang on before you start, is we need to connect up all these 50s. But the other part of it is, what about all these spots where there are no 50s?
We go between them.
We gotta go in between numbers. We have to put, I always say we have to put 50s where 50s belong. Meaning here, for example, here's a 48 and a 55. Is there a 50 in between 48 and 55 if you were to count? 48, 49, 50. So that's okay. There is a 50 somewhere in here. So you could put a make-believe 50 if you wanted to. And that'll just give you another dot to connect. So you're gonna go right ahead and connect those two 50s. So another way of thinking about, well, actually, let's get up to the next 50 first. So again, can I put a 50 in between 49 and 55? Heck yeah. And can I put a 50 in between 47 and 51? Yes.
We have to do this.
You do not have to do the dots, no. I just want you to understand you can't put them just willy-nilly. Okay, take a minute. I want to talk for a second. So one thing I want you to notice, take a look at the, what is this, the upper left corner. What do you see about all these numbers in the upper left-hand corner?
They're all like 50 and under.
They're all less than 50. So, and then what do you notice about directly on to the right of the line we drew?
They're all over 50.
They're all over 50. So I like to think of this line we drew as a fence that separates all the ones less than 50 and a fence that separates all the ones greater than 50. So when you're drawing these lines, one way to check your work to see if you did it right is to look, okay, is everybody over here less than 50? Is everybody over here greater than 50? So now we're stuck at the edge of the map. Now remember that rule that I said was kind of weird and would make more sense when we were doing them? Let me go back, which I think it was 3, but I can't remember. Yes. Rule 3, ISO lines are always closed curves, even though the map might only show part of it. What that means is this line is going to continue off the map and come back into the map somewhere. Where is it going to come back into the map? Where is a safe
In the
place?
51 and the 49.
Okay, so it'll come back in here, almost right in the dead smack center of them. But wait,
Then it goes between.
you know what they say about Las Vegas? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas?
Yeah.
You've heard that before?
Yeah.
Well, I kind of turn it around a little bit. What happens off the edge of the map, we don't know about, so you can't draw it in. So meaning, see how I kind of connected that up here? You might have noticed I did it in a faint line in the first place. If you're at the edge of the map, you cannot draw a line at the edge of the map. So how I had those connected with that line, I can't do that because I don't know where, yes, you're gonna have to erase that one that goes up and above. Because what's at the top of the map, we don't know. There might be another 51. The numbers might start increasing. We don't know. So if we don't know, we can't connect them.
I just connected.
So what it says is you just come back in. So even though the map's gonna cut off that loop, we just deal with it and come back in. So right here is where there would be a 50. How are we gonna connect that one to another one.
You go.
Where's a safe place to put this
between
fence?
51 and 49.
Between the 51 and the 49, because we need to separate the 40s from the 50s.
And then 51 and 49 again.
Okay, then, right there. So everybody over here is bigger than 50, everybody over here is younger than, or smaller than 50. And this is a nice, easy one, just connect those guys up. But even though I did that quick connect, you can still see, here's a 54, here's a 49. I need to separate them. How do I get up to that other 50?
And then 53 and 49.
Okay, so I want to cut off those guys. And then I think that's a nice, easy one. So again, if you wanted to double check your work, everybody up here, smaller than 50, these ones are smaller than 50, and immediately below them are all bigger than 50. So now we're at the edge of the map again. So what happens off the edge of the map, we don't know. So you just have to find a safe place to bring this back in. Where's another safe place? Almost all the way down at the bottom. Oh, can you see that? Right down here. So I basically, how would you have figured this out? You're gonna just kind of, you know it's coming off here, and you're just gonna look for a safe place. And here's the first safe place. When I say safe place, I mean a place where 50 lives. So that's gonna be a 50, and I'm gonna start drawing my line. Now notice there's no line connecting these, because what happens on the edge of the map stays off the map.
So go here, and then between 51 and 49 again.
And then I wanna go up. So notice I can't just keep going in a straight line. I have to,
Go over between 48 and 54. Up. Over.
well, Carter's got it, but how about the rest of you? Not so bad?
Just gotta keep everything under 50.
Just drawing a fence, you're just separating them.
Because I had it confused on that. What you? Oh, no, never mind.
No?
Connect them.
Yep, so I still gotta get over to this guy somehow. You can never, ever, ever leave a line in the middle of the map. So you can never stop here. Your line either has to connect all the way around or go to the edge of the map. So no matter what, you cannot just stop inside the map. And you're gonna see that in a little bit. So once besides, I don't want Carter to tell me, how do I get now over to this one? Somebody else who's willing to, thank you.
51 and 49.
You got it. And so notice, again, can I check my work? I think I'm good, but I'm gonna just kind of scan. All of these numbers below are smaller. All the numbers above are bigger. So I kind of just do a quick scan. So we're at the edge of the map again. We stop here. Now it is saying somewhere over here they'll connect. So somewhere they're going to look like a closed loop. So if you look at the board, something like this would be happening. But again, we don't draw that because we don't know if it's right there or would it be like way over here. If we can't see it, we can't draw it. But know that somewhere off the map, they're going to connect. And I don't like to say circle because that's not a circle, but somewhere they're going to connect and make a closed loop.
Looks like a mill.
Yeah, again, we don't know what it's going to look like. So we just leave it at the edge of the map. So we've now connected all of the 50s. Now here's what I want to do. Take a look around you. Switch a marker with somebody who's got a different color than you. So Carter, give yours to Cassidy behind you, or is yours yours? You borrowed it, right? Switch with Cassidy. So switch with somebody who's got a different color than the one you used. If you need to switch twice, do it.
I do 60s.
Now we're gonna do 60s. So you're gonna grab a different color highlighter just because it makes life a little bit easier to have a different color.
How many 60s are there?
I don't remember. For some reason, the number 13 is sticking out in my head, but I don't remember if that's what this, yeah, I think it's 13. 13. A little bit like bingo right now, yep.
Oh, wow.
So in theory, if you don't highlight all of them, it's not the end of the world, because when you're going around to connect and you're like, is it bigger than 60 or littler than 60? If you find another 60, you'll be able to connect it up. So it's not a huge deal if you missed one. So where do you guys want to start? Like, I didn't kind of talk about where we start.
Between whoever at 260s.
So you want to start over here?
Yeah.
Was that where you wanted to start?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna tell you guys, you can legit start wherever your heart desires. Personally, I would have started right here, these 3, because there's 3 right in a row and I can't really screw that up. But you guys wanted to start over here, so we'll do it. Again, can't really screw those 2 up. You just connect them up.
Go like outside of the 61, go down to the other 2.
Okay, so Carter's going counterclockwise, not also my first move, but I agree. So notice you had to loop to the left of the 61 there, because you go 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, then 61. There is no 60 between 61 and 69. I want to see if you guys can do this. So connect up the 60s.
I would just go all the way back to the first one. Oh, I did that one.
Get the idea? Not so bad, right? It's almost fun.
Like on the 70.
I don't know if I mean I do this as like at a party or anything kind of fun, but it's for earth science. It's
Are we
almost
doing
fun.
70?
We're gonna do the 70s. You want to give it a whirl?
Yeah.
So you can switch highlighters again if you want, or honestly, it doesn't matter. I was just doing it for visibility's sake. Who's stuck?
How many 70s do you?
I don't know. We need to get connected to these 60s. So we already started here. So we get this one over here. How do we do that? By drawing, it's like.
I didn't miss Rich.
That's gonna separate anything in that.
I knew 70.
And those 2 guys out.
There's only two 70s.
No, it's on 3.
Carter, switch markers.
No, you wanna fence off the people less than 60 and people greater than 60.
Yeah, there's 3.
Perfect. Okay, now where? How are you gonna fence off the 60s? Sorry, I'm just trying to watch you without. Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, not here. Cause those, you don't want those guys.
We need.
Yes. Perfect.
Alright. And circles it up.
Got it. Weird, but not so bad, right? Now we gotta keep going. We can't stop. Never ever can stop. Gonna be back. Anybody else need me to check on what they're doing? I think there are only 3 70s. It sounds familiar now that.
There's 4 80s. Oh, really? All right. I don't know how to do it.
I'm not helping you yet. Nope, not helping you yet.
Come on, Miss Red.
No.
Be creative.
Yep,
No, like it's confusing me.
I know, it's supposed to. So just keep trying, see if there's any safe place, any safe way to connect up the 80s. Who's still stuck on the 70s and the 60s though?
Whoa.
Can't go that way, Carter. You're stuck. Okay, well, no, right where you want to find them. Would 70 go on between 65 and 70?
Miss Ritz. Miss Ritz.
Hey, Carter, can you shut up, please?
I'm just 70 go on now.
Hey, no cheating. Yo, sir, I need that orange. Yeah, I already got it.
Who's that?
What?
Oh, yeah, he said.
I'll take that.
Hey, Carter. Hey, well, that was easy. I'm not. I'm the easy.
Yeah, they're
How do we
confusing.
connect these guys now? Need to connect, we can't just leave them hanging. Where can we put a 60 to separate anything higher than 60 and anything lower than 60?
Miss Ritz.
I am not helping you right now.
Miss Ritz.
I'm not helping. So does 60
Come
go
on.
in between 64 and 74? No.
I'll just highlight it. You're 470.
Yeah.
No, there's 370s and 480s.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Lay on my welcome song.
54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62. So again, when you check your order, that's your 60. And then you're gonna move on and do the 7. Oh my gosh. All the shouting. I'm not helping with the 80s yet. Are you sharing my secrets? Are you ruining my fun? I don't get many fun things.
But there's a 90, you can't circle the 90.
Well, that's because the 90 could be the only one in there.
Is it
Shut up,
Dwayne? Is it Dwayne? Is it Dwayne?
I think I'm confusing myself.
Yes.
What? Is that okay?
All right. Who's still got the 70s they need checked?
No, I already got that.
There, I've got the 50s, 60s, and 70s up on the board.
Yeah, I already got the 7.
Okay.
I got it, Miss Ritz, I think.
No, you
Can
can't
check
do
it?
the hang-in
Can you
line.
come check it?
What the heck, erase that.
Why?
Because it's not right.
The 80s?
Yeah, your age is not, I'm not sure.
How?
Go ahead and erase those. All right, so I was only checking on the 70s so far. Nope. Oh, 70s, yes. What?
I got the 80s.
Shut up, Dwayne. Shut up, Dwayne. Just don't even make
Yeah,
sense.
Okay. So let's wrap this up and make sure you understand
I think I got it.
how to connect the 80s. So there's 4 of them. So off the bat, you're like, yeah, I can do 4. That's way easier than connecting just the 3. And so you start, and you're off on a good start here, right? 80 goes over to 80.
Yep.
And that was easy.
Yeah, we got that online.
And then you're like trying to get over here. So you're like, can I go through here? Can I go between 75 and 75 for an 80 line?
No.
No, because does 80 come in between 75 and 75?
Oh!
No. Can I go squeeze it down here between my 70 line and my 72 and go here?
Oh.
No, because 80 doesn't belong there. So you're like, okay, well, there's only one other choice. It still doesn't fit there.
Nothing.
So it doesn't fit. There's no way of getting from over here to over here.
So make 2 lines.
So that circle was nice and easy. These 2 80s connect. And then these 2 80s are going to connect because guys, if this is a map of elevation,
That's crazy.
it's not crazy.
What do we we doing next?
Hang on, we're not there yet. Let me show you how not crazy this is. Here's a map. And again, I think we looked at this on Friday.
Yes, ma'am.
So only look up here, it only gets confusing if you're looking at my desk and up here. Here's a 600 line for that peak. I know it's not labeled, my labels must have disappeared, but here's another red section. These are also 600. Do the peaks of mountains touch each other? No, so there's one peak over here, one peak, so one peak here and one peak here and one peak there. On our mountain, there's just going to be a peak over here and a peak over here.
This is a mountain.
This is a map of a mountain then,
Real estate.
okay? So this is officially called a contour map. And from our notes, remember that a contour map, they're lines that connect areas of equal elevation. So these are all equal elevation. In fact, if you looked down when we talked about the contour interval, that was in meters. So this is meters above sea level. Now I want to talk about a few of the rules to see if we drew this map okay. So remember, the first rule was to connect areas of equal value. Does each line only have 50s on it, or 60s or 70s? Yep, each line is safe. We did each line good. I used gentle curves. I did not connect these with sharp, pointy lines.
Got all of them.
Now remember, the lines are always closed curves, even if the map doesn't show it. So that's why even though the 50s ended at the edge of the map, that's it. One thing that I saw a bunch of people trying to do with this 80 was just connect it with one straight line here. Can you have one straight line connecting the 80s? Nope, because it has to be a closed loop or go to the edge of the map. None of the lines cross. Here's where you have to be careful. Some of you down here at this 60, where we drew a 50 and then the 60 were real close. Please make sure they're not touching. If they're touching there, I have to mark them wrong. Yeah, they're close, but they can't be touching. And then remember the whole parallel-ish thing I was talking about? So while this line right here and this line right here are not perfectly parallel like you would talk about in math, like if I was to extend this line and extend this line, eventually they would cross.
I don't think it was.
I definitely think they would, but you're right, they might not. So but they're parallel-ish, meaning where this one goes down, and then see down and then up, down and then up. So it gives you an idea of once you have one line drawn, you're gonna have an idea of what the next line is going to look like. This is where we're gonna stop for today. I'm not gonna have you do any for homework. We're gonna do one more in class tomorrow and then a homework one.
You.
And then we're gonna start the next section. So you have no homework unless you're doing test corrections. And that's it.